Good evening. Welcome to the Norwood Zoning Board meeting of January 6, 2026. This meeting is being recorded by Norwood Community Media as well as Google Meet. And before we begin, please turn off any electronic devices. Make sure mine's off. And the format for tonight, anyone wishing to offer testimony on matters before the board, please approach the podium and state your name and address for the record. The applicant or their representative will address the board first and provide evidence and testimony supporting their proposal. Members of the board may ask questions before, during, or after the applicant's presentation. Following any questions or comments from the board, it will open the meeting up to any members of the public that are either here on Google Meet to provide any testimony or comments. All comments or questions for the applicant will go through the chair. And following that, the applicant will be given an opportunity to make a final statement. At that point, the board can consider continuing the public hearing or move to close the public hearing. If the board chooses to close the public hearing, the board may proceed to deliberate and vote on the proposal. Everything before us this evening requires 4 votes of the 5 members sitting here. Okay, the first matter before us is request for a special permit on a Norwood zoning bylaw 5.4 for a single-family home addition at 67 Winter Street. I will read the public notice into the record. Notice is hereby given that the Board of Appeals of the Town of Norwood will hold a public hearing on January 6, 2026 at 7 p.m. on the request of Diana Shelby, case 25-26, with respect to the property located at 67 Winter Street, Norwood, Mass. 02062, in the single residence as zoning district. The hearing will be held at the Norwood Senior Center, 275 Prospect Street, Norwood, Mass. 02062. It will also be available for remote participation via Google Meet. This application requests a special permit pursuant to zoning bylaw section 5.4 to construct a 2-story addition on the southwest side of the pre-existing non-conforming home. The addition increases the habitable floor area by more than 25%. The home is currently non-conforming in rear setback, but the addition will be within all required setbacks. Any zoning relief that may be required in adherence to the Norwood zoning bylaw shall be considered by the board. Interested parties are encouraged to attend the hearing and make their views known to the board. Plans are on file with this application in the office of the Zoning Board of Appeals and may be requested by emailing comdev@norwoodma.gov Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Is the applicant here? Okay. Good evening, sir. Please state your name and address for the record.
Mr. Chairman, my name is John Glossa, Glossa Engineering, 46 East Street in East Walpole, and I'm the engineer who drew the plans, but Diane Shelby is with me right here. She's sitting here. I do have a paper copy of the plan if you'd like me to.
I think all the members have received it. If you want to put up your any slides you had for the public, that would be fine.
It's just simply, I just had my draftsman color up a plan so it's a little bit easier to see where the addition is and where the addition is in relation to the existing building. Mr. Chairman and members of the board, so Diane Shelby's the owner of the property at 67 Winter Street. 67 Winter Street is a 10,056 square foot lot on the east side of Winter Street, not far from the intersection of Winter Street and Washington Street. There's currently a 2,152 square foot living area per the assessor's records. Single family home on the site, along with a garage, parking area, and driveway. The house is situated on the lot about 41 feet from Winter Street and about 6.5 feet from the right sideline. The house is about 28 feet from the left sideline. The lot does not have a rear lot line by definition because it's more of a triangle shape. The front portion of the lot is a lawn with ornamental trees and shrubs. Just wondering if I have the right glasses on. I wonder if I'm going somewhere. There we go. With trees and shrubs scattered about the front yard. The rear portion of the lot contains a garage along with additional landscaping. And the site, I know you can't see it on this plan, but if you looked on Mass GIS, you'd see that the site slopes from the street, from Winter Street upward towards the rear of the lot. The site is in Zone S, Single Family Residential District. Diane would like to construct approximately 1,039 square foot, 2-story, plus attic space addition to the existing building. The purpose of the addition is to simply update the existing building while adding more usable space. There's also a proposed attached porch and 288 square foot to be constructed on the left side of the building. The existing covered porch in the front of the existing building will be removed and replaced. That's this one right here. The building is currently connected to public sewer, water, electric, and gas, so there will be no need to provide any additional utilities. There will be no change to the existing driveway or curb cut at the street. The area where the addition is proposed is relatively level with lawn and ornamental shrubbery. There's minimal grading needed to construct the addition. The town zoning bylaw 5.4 non-conforming single and two-family residential structures allows for the reconstruction and extension, alteration, or changes that do not increase the non-conforming nature of the structure without a special permit, but only when the addition does not increase the habitable floor area of the original structure by more than 25%. So what I did is I submitted it to the building commissioner, Gary Pelletier, and he measured the interior space, or the proposed interior space, and compared that with the assessor's records for what the existing habitable space is, and came to the conclusion that it was more than 25%. Unfortunately, Gary didn't give me his number, what his number was, so I'm not saying he wasn't telling me the truth, but just so that you get a sense.
Oh.
Did he tell you?
Well,
I
no,
calculated it myself and
Yeah, the
came up.
living area is 2152 and the addition's 1,000, so it's close to 50%, so.
Well, it's the habitable space.
How much is
not-
the habitable space?
The habitable space would not include like walls and things like that, so it's just the habitable space. So that's what Gary told me. So actually, if you do it gross, you come out 33.4. If you do it net, which is what he would do,
Yeah.
I came out with 28.5.
Okay,
My point is that we're not adding, we can add more than 25% with a special permit, but we're not adding, 50 or 75 or over 100% or anything like that. It's, as far as I know, just over the 25%. And in fact, Gary, the first thing he said to me was, "Oh, I think you're going to be all set." But then when he sat down and looked at the architectural plans, he came up with a number that was more than 25%.
thank you for clarifying that.
Okay, so the proposed addition will meet both the front setback, it's going to be 35.37 feet back from the street, where the requirement is 20. And the side setback, which is, it's going to be 15.35 feet, where the side setback is 15. So we're not asking for any relief from either front or side setback or rear setback, for that matter. The building after construction will meet lot coverage requirements found in the Norwood zoning bylaw. The lot coverage after construction will be 23.07%, and I think we can cover up to 25%. So we're still going to meet that requirement, or the building will. The building addition will not be more than 30 feet in height. The current lot width, which is something that you don't hear about a lot in Norwood, but the current lot width at the front of the building is 92.52 feet, so that's more than what's required under the zoning. At the rear of the building, it's 58.22 feet. So it's kind of unclear in your zoning where that lot width is measured, but it meets it at the front of the building, which is what most town zoning bylaws ask you to have. So then I just went through your criteria for meeting the granting of a special permit. So the first one is social, economic, and community needs. The project use is a residential use, and the project is more beneficial as it serves the needs of a local resident who endeavors to improve and update the style, construction, and interior services, i.e. plumbing, electric, and gas of the existing building. So inside's going to be rehabbed to bring everything up to current code and sort of current aspects that you would see inside of a building. Circulation, there'll be no change in pedestrian or vehicular movements within the site. There will be no change in peak or average daily flow to the site as a result of this project. Utilities and other public services, as I said, there'll be no change in the public services at the site. The site is currently adequately served by sewer, water, electric, and gas. Environmental impacts, there'll be no environmental impact damage done as a result of the proposed construction. There are no wetlands at or near the site. The area of the proposed addition is currently lawn and shrubs. Some landscaping will be removed, but landscaping will be replaced after the building construction has been completed. Land use compatibility, the addition is proposed to a single-family home, and many of the abutting properties are single-family homes. There will be no off-site impact as a result of the project. Visual compatibility, there will be no change in the parking configuration at the site. Trees and other landscaping features will be kept to the maximum extent possible and will be replaced where needed. The architecture of the addition will match the existing house and will be similar to the homes in the immediate neighborhood. Physical impacts, the addition and upgrades to the home will create a home with more value, which will in turn raise the value of abutting homes and homes in the immediate neighborhood, which will increase tax revenue to the town without creating tax expenditure. And then process, there is no substantial impact from the project. Abutting neighbors have been informed of the proposed addition to the building. Planting of trees, shrubs, and creating gardens will be part of this project. So that would be my presentation to the board. I can answer any questions that you might have, and Diane is here to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Paul, any questions from the applicant?
It seems like everything is fine. I mean, it meets all the required setbacks, right?
Right.
So
right.
the only thing you're really here for is the inside, the ratio.
Right, because we're somewhere between 28 and 33%, depending on how you calculate it, more than the 25% that's allowed.
I don't have a problem with it. I'm good.
Okay, thank you. Shannon?
My only question is related to you show an exclusive use and maintenance easement line. Is that related to, is that like a shared driveway? I guess, can you tell me more about that aspect of the plan? And it looks like you have tried to stay on one side of that as well and not cross it.
Well, so that's an existing easement.
Yeah.
That's not being proposed now.
Mm-hmm.
So that easement runs to this property here.
Okay.
Actually, it allows the access from the driveway to this property, to the garage back here, and also to the garage
Got it.
here.
Okay. That was the only question.
Yeah, Rachel?
Thank you. So it seems like, just to reiterate, the existing nonconformities, which is the side setback and potentially also the width through the structure on the back
On the
half.
rear side.
Those are the two existing nonconformities, and this has no impact on those
Right. It
nonconformities.
does not change those nonconformities.
I think my only other question is, I'm looking at the cover page of the Kirby engineering plan, and it says the percent increase in living space is 48.3. I just want to make sure we're all talking about we want to make sure our approval is comprehensive. I just want to make sure we all know what number we're talking about.
Right.
I don't know if
So-
there's a,
so-
how that came across.
So Gary Pelletier, so, know Gary fairly well, and brought these plans down to him, obviously, before we filed for a building permit or came to this board. And when Gary saw that, he said, Chris Kirby did not do this correctly. And then, as I said, Gary took it upon himself, to sort of help me out to see if I was below the 25% or not. And I believe the way Gary explained it to me, how it's computed, that the number is closer to 30%, not, it's somewhere between 28 and 34 or so. It's not that number that Chris did. So Chris included the attic, which Gary said you don't include the attic. He included some places which are not under the definition of habitable space in a building. So that was the first thing Gary said to me. Oh, he included this, he included that, you don't include those. Even though I know Chris very well and we do a lot of work with him, I never really thought about, I should make.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
Chris changed that plan.
I don't have any other questions, I just want to make sure we're all talking about the same thing. But
Yeah.
I don't have any
Yeah.
concerns about this.
In hindsight's 20/20, but I should have asked Gary to give me the number, which I didn't do, and I'm sorry, that's my fault.
Thank you.
I'm
Al?
good, Joe.
Yeah, okay.
John,
So Gary said the number he gave you was 28.5%.
That's the number that I calculated based on the way he told me that it's calculated. Okay.
We just could confirm that number with Gary, and the decision, Sarah, we can confirm, put it in the decision, after we speak with Gary. Okay, thank you, sir. Is there anyone here like to comment on this proposal? Anyone here? Is there anyone here on Google Meet? Anyone here on Google Meet like to comment on this proposal? So seeing none and hearing none. Anything more from the board before we close the public hearing?
No.
I'm all set.
I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Moved by Al and seconded by Shannon. Paul, in closing the public hearing?
Yes.
Shannon, in closing the public hearing?
Yes?
Rachel?
Yes.
Al, in closing the public hearing?
Yes.
The public hearing is closed. What are the wishes of the board?
I would, I guess pending confirmation with the building commissioner of the exact percentage, move to approve the special permit as presented. I think the application already walked through a lot of the criteria that we had to address.
Yes.
It doesn't seem out of scale with other houses on the street, and it would, update and bring into a state of good repair an existing single family.
Can I just,
Yep.
what are we trying to obtain from the building inspector?
Just the number of the percentage. We'd just like to have it in the hearing, in the decision. So just give us, is it 28.5, is it 33, just so it's in the hearing.
Okay, I
In
get
case
it.
it becomes an issue later on down the road.
I second.
And I don't think as a contingency, just an open detail.
Right.
To be incorporated. I'm not hinging my vote on
Right,
that, yeah.
right, yeah. I think we all
Yeah.
know, yeah. Okay, so a motion's been made to approve as presented, with the caveat that the building inspector, building commissioner will supply us with the actual increase in percentage over 25%. It's been moved and seconded by Paul. So Paul on the motion to approve?
Yes.
Shannon?
Yes?
Rachel?
Yes.
Al?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Good luck, thank you very much. That was a good presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, thanks for the support. Thank you.
John, good to see you.
The next matter before us is case number 2527, 243 Prospect Street, request for a special permit under Norwood zoning bylaw 5.7.3 to demolish a non-conforming home and rebuild with a larger volume and a different footprint. I will read the public notice into the record. Notice is hereby given that the Board of Appeals of the Town of Norwood will hold a public hearing on January 6, 2026 at 7 p.m. on the request of Cameron Bagapur. I apologize, I didn't get that right. Case 25-27 with respect to property located at 243 Prospect Street, Norwood, Mass. 02062 in the single Resident Zoning District. This hearing will be held at the Norwood Senior Center, 275 Prospect Street, Norwood, Mass. 02062. It will also be available for remote participation via Google Meet. This application requests a special permit pursuant to Norwood zoning bylaw, section 5.7.3, to demolish a pre-existing non-conforming home and rebuild with a larger volume and a different footprint. The existing home is non-conforming in front setback. The proposed new structure will conform with all required setbacks. Any zoning relief that may be required in adherence to the Norwood zoning bylaw shall be considered by the board. Interested parties are encouraged to attend the hearing and make their views known to the board. Plans are on file with this application, the Office of the Zoning Board of Appeals, and may be requested by emailing comdev@norwoodma.gov Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Sir, you have the floor. Your name and address for the record, please.
Yes. Good evening. My name is Noah Bagerford, Cameron's son with Zeus Construction.
Okay.
My address is 741 Washington Street in Canton.
Very good.
And I'm here tonight on behalf of Hannah and Andrew Mooney, representing them and walking them through the ZBA process. And then, if approved, we'll be moving through, we'll be the chosen vendor to help them build their house at 243 Prospect Street. So I'll keep it nice and short and sweet. Our proposal is to tear down the non-conforming existing dwelling they have on their home and to reconstruct an existing, reconstruct a conforming 4-bedroom, 2-car garage home. We are here today to answer any questions you may have.
Is that it? Okay, Al, we'll start with you. This time on the right side.
Is that old barn going away completely? That's in the back of the property?
The pond? Oh, the barn. So the barn, we are hoping to have that moved to the corner of the lot, back right corner of the lot. So, yes, we'd be tearing that down and moving it over. It's called barn and then it's called shed. It's redrawn as a shed in the dark gray box.
Because you're running into an issue with the setback, I believe.
Yeah, so the existing barn is already non-conforming. We wanted to bring it in a bit from the setback, so the new proposed shed that we'd be building is going to be more conforming than the existing barn.
You don't show that anywhere in your plan, do you?
I believe it is on the rear setbacks. And we see it says barn, it says 23.1, and then on the new shed it goes to 24.1, so it increased the setback by a foot. I've also spoken with the Moomies prior to tonight, and we'd like to not have this hold up and kind of be a sticking point, so if it would please everyone, we can go ahead and move it fully conforming, if that.
It's your option.
The preference is to...
Name and address on the record, sir.
Sorry, I'm Andrew Mooney, with Noah here. I'm one of the owners of the property and looking to rebuild the home here, 243 Prospect Street, Norwood. The preference is to move the barn to the edge of the property, like Noah said, and reduce the nonconformity by a foot on the rear setback, and not increase the size or height of the barn. The barn is honestly a neighborhood staple to random folks. My family's been in this house since 1870. People stop by at the property and say, "Do you know the Sullivans?" I say, "Yeah, it's my grandparents. I was friends with your uncle in school and everything." And keep that barn, get this old house to redo that barn. So it's a little bit of neighborhood nostalgia and also functional storage. We'd just like to get a special permit to keep it non-conforming, but reduce that non-conformity.
Okay, thank you. Al, anything else? Rachel?
The primary structure itself, the reason we're in special permit land is because there's a 2.5-foot encroachment on the front setback, and that's the only nonconformity of the principal
Yes.
structure. And because you're raising that and building a new primary structure that's fully non-conforming, that's why we're here, because we're raising a non-conforming.
Fully
structure.
conforming.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's helpful. And then my other question is there's 2 page A5s, and I just want to make sure I'm looking at the right one. There were 2 of them in our packet, and I don't know if they're both foundation plan, but one has just different levels of detail.
Do you mind if I come over?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, just want to see what you look at. This is just purely the foundation, this is first floor. Oh, sorry, no, it's not. This is final copy. That's all
Okay, so
set.
this was just a draft.
This is drafting process, yeah, that's final
Okay,
copy.
okay. I just wanted to make sure
Yep.
I was looking at the right.
Apologies for that.
Okay, so the primary structure will be fully conforming, and then it's just the question of the relocation of this shed,
Yeah.
which will reduce the nonconformity by a foot.
By foot, yeah.
Okay.
And stay within the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's,
It's
that's the
just
only
the
thing,
rear
it'll
setback.
bring it in a foot off the rear setback, and the side will still be.
And it looks like that setback is along the same abutter as the existing
Yes.
setback, so.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. I'm all set.
Shannon?
So it looks like you have a new curb cut and a new like driveway
Mhm.
entry onto the property on the other side of it. So does that mean you would be eliminating access at the existing curb, or is that an additional curb cut on the site?
Yeah, that'll be taken up, that driveway will be picked up, the existing one.
Got it, okay.
That'll be replaced with one.
And then just to clarify, you're taking the existing barn then and relocating it, or you're raising the
Demolishing and
existing
rebuilding.
barn, but and you're rebuilding a brand new shed? Okay.
Yes, similar character is the goal.
Got it. And can you, how far off from the rear setback then is it? Like how non-conforming?
The existing?
No, the new.
The new would be an additional foot in, so it'd be 24 foot.
But what is the rear setback
30.
supposed to be?
30.
And I guess what are the, what's that?
Accessory structures can be as little as 5
From the
Okay.
property?
from the side
Okay.
and rear, provided they don't exceed certain volume and size requirements. So without knowing the exact
It
dimensions
does
of the
exceed,
shed.
it does exceed
It does.
the 120 square feet of that limitation that you're referencing. But that's why we're looking for the permit here to move it as an existing structure.
And I guess, can you sort of describe the impacts to like the layout of your property if you were to move that structure and make it conforming to the rear setback?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that they'll lose some of the yard space, and, go to a nice, beautiful home, gonna be there for a long time, and wanna maximize the amount of usable yard they have.
The tree represented on the plan also in front of the new location for the barn they're quite large trees, and just recently with the windstorm, we had some pretty large branches fall down from them. So I would like to, prevent putting it underneath those large trees if possible.
And then, so do you know what is the height and
Oh.
dimensions of the barn structure then, or the shed, the new shed structure?
Yeah, the rough dimensions of it are roughly 15 by 20.
Okay.
And then it's probably
How
about
high?
12 to 14 feet high.
Okay. I don't have any other questions right now.
Well,
So, who lives in the house now?
And myself.
Oh, okay, and, so you've lived there this is your family home?
Lived there for about 5 years, been mowing the lawn for about 20 years.
Right.
Is that gonna end?
Absolutely not. As
No,
long as it
I
looks
mean,
like-
I have to tell you, the house that you propose is a beautiful home.
Thank you.
I mean, it's magnificent.
Thank you.
Is it gonna have any negative impact on any of the abutters? Have you heard from anybody?
Kevin and Carolyn, our neighbors, are here today. We spoke with them briefly on a different matter, actually. Happy to hear any opinions you have. Talked to Bobby and Terry, which are, I don't know the next number on the plan, Robert Damaris and Terry Damaris. They're excited for us. They have the most visibility to our backyard, I would say. Talk to them all the time in the summer. So my answer is no. I don't think it has any detrimental impact to the neighborhood. I think it has an increased increase benefit to the neighborhood. The house is a little bit run down, and
No, it looks like it's gonna be a great project. What are you gonna do with the second structure? What do you do with it now?
the barn,
Yes.
storage.
And
Yeah.
are you gonna have heat and electricity, or,
I would like just simple electricity just for lighting and things like that, yeah.
and what size is the barn, do you know?
Like Noah said,
The existing barn?
Yes.
Yeah, so the existing barn is about 15 by 20, and then around about 12 to 14 feet high.
yeah, it does have a second floor, just like a, crouch second floor type storage. The barn's actually there before the existing house was, is what I'm told.
No, I think it's a nice asset to keep the barn, that's just my opinion. Well, good luck, I don't have any other questions.
Thank you, Paul. The only thing I have in the barn is, you're moving it, you're rebuilding it, or we're putting up a new one. I feel it should fall within, because it's 120 feet, you should move it to 6 feet. It doesn't take up any yard space, it just gives you yard space in the back, but that's where I'm at right now. Okay, anything else before we open this up to the public? All right, you can be seated. Is there anyone here that'd like to speak to this? Yes, sir, please come up to the podium and state your name and address for the record.
Yeah, my name's Kevin Eckhart, 235 Prospect Street, same neighbors to Looney's. I love the plan, it looks great, I'm excited for them. We do have one situation that we've talked about. The property line is off from what our plot plan showed. It's off by about 2 or 3 feet, which, it doesn't seem like a lot, but where it is, it'd impact our driveway. It would take out a portion of our driveway. And, obviously, further on down the road, if I was trying to sell the place, it's a drawback for us. Gave Andrew a copy of it. Back in '97, we had a plot plan done. It showed that we had about 9 feet from the side of our house to the lot line. Based on their survey that they have, it looks like we're going to lose 2 or 3 feet anyways, which we obviously don't agree with. I did some research. The plot plan that we had in '97 is registered with the town, number 43376. Everything that I could find, research back, as far back as 1941, with the subdivision and the reorder plan. Everything seems to line up with what our plot plan is. So, we have to try to figure out some way to get around this, and I'm not sure what that answer is. But I just wanted to make you guys aware of it, that we do, have an issue with that. But other than that, we're all for the plan, for the new house, and it looks beautiful.
Do you have anything there?
Yeah, I had some paperwork if you want it.
Yeah. let's have a look at it. Thank you. Anything else, Mr. Eckhart?
No, that's it.
Do you have anything to add, sir?
Yeah, I'd just like to, Andrew Mooney again at 243 Prospect. So yeah, like Kevin mentioned, we had the property corners staked out as part of the plan process. Actually, specifically to make sure that we didn't put our driveway too close to theirs. We're well aware where theirs is currently and have no problem with it. Only when the property corners got staked out by the licensed surveyor were we all made aware that that was an issue. And I mentioned to Kevin, we're not disputing his plot plan at all. There's a difference between a plot plan and a survey, and ultimately, whichever one you have done, you have to have those corners marked to really know where it is in real life. So that's where I'm at with Kevin at the moment, to just look into that a little bit more, and then we'll continue to work towards a resolution on that.
Well, this is a survey that he's given us. This is a survey and it's showing it.
Okay.
It's a survey and going back to,
Forgive
both
me on
surveys,
the
one was-
terminology, I just saw it was titled somewhere plot plan, but either way, whatever the deed says is what's represented on those documents. I fully agree with him there. It's just about placing that on the actual land is where we're open-ended at the moment. But respect that issue, do think we have to work through it still. Don't think it affects the plan for the house and the barn that we discussed earlier.
I think, give me a minute. I think it does because this person goes to sell their house, there's gonna be an issue for him if you stake it differently. And looking at his is by north, and yours is by south. And looking quickly at that 41 plan, it coincides with what's on the property line now. It's north 59 degrees and minutes, so that looks correct, but that's an issue you guys gotta resolve.
Completely agree. Yeah, I just think it's further looking into.
Yeah.
Is that, do you have something to add?
Oh, yeah. Jeff, go ahead.
Sorry.
Noah Bagaport, 741 Washington Street, Canton. Yeah, so the important thing, I think about this, that they'll definitely work through that, but there's enough space on that side setback from the distance of the house to where a few feet here or there, you know, given an easement or however, isn't gonna affect the conformity of the proposed structure.
No, it has nothing to do with the structure, meets all the setbacks, but what I'm saying for this person is your plan, which is measured by south, and there's the three that he's provided measured by north, so that could be the discrepancy. But I'm not prepared to go forward and jeopardize their property if they ever have to go sell it. So it has to be resolved, at least in my opinion, before I'm gonna give you a vote on this. I like everything else, although I do want the shed to be brought back in. That's just my opinion, you know. But other than that, that's where I'm at.
Can you help me understand a little bit more why the driveway outstanding item prevents the special permit for?
Because your
the tear
survey,
down?
which was measured southerly, surveys 3 there northerly, and there's obviously discrepancy. So I'm by there today. I saw the stakes, then I saw a white line, which was a couple of feet up. I'm not sure what the white line was there, but that's what I have an issue with that, because I'm not going to jeopardize the neighbor's property rights. It's only a couple of feet. We've had this before. We've had this down at Dean Street, where we had the couple of feet, and we just asked the applicant, will you go back, talk to your neighbors and resolve this, and then come back to us, and we can vote on it.
What are some potential resolutions that you see that would make you more comfortable with approving it?
You get with this gentleman, and you decide where that line is. Maybe another survey is required. You know, we can't give advice here, but you'd have to figure that out with your neighbor.
Okay.
So that's, okay.
Yep, all right. Is there anyone else here speak to that matter? Anyone else here? Is there anyone here in Google Meet to speak to that matter? Okay, seeing none.
Mr. Chair, question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Question on the survey, so, I mean, I guess it could end up impacting the side setback of the accessory structure, depending on what the discrepancy
Yeah.
actually is, but is the issue, if it's not impacting anything that we're doing through the special permit, is the larger issue just having two separate plot plans based on surveys that say different things in the record? I guess I'm just trying to understand too, is it the documentation of a survey that we know conflicts with an existing survey?
Yeah, for
The issue with approval?
For this, I mean, go back to 1941, and these surveys, which are recorded, registered with the town, that's the town number there. And there was a permit pulled when they built the house with this permit here too. So it's just, I don't want to see the folks next door, the Eckharts, be in a situation where they go to sell their house and someone says, well, this is what your survey and this is what that one. So you have two
Right.
different plans. So you have to get this right.
Hi.
Yes, name and
I'm
address
Hannah
for the
Mooney,
record.
243 Prospect Street. I absolutely agree. This is something that we've been trying to get right for the last few months now as well. My question for you, and I hear that this is a concern about if they ever want to sell their house at any point in time. This is the demo plan right now. We know that we are going to have to go forward with a permit to build at some point in time, and we're not going to do any demolition until we have a permit to build. But as a demo permit for us to then proceed working through paying for another survey, because we're probably going to have somebody come out and say this was done via south, this was done via north, we are gonna need another survey, which is a timely endeavor. During that process, if we get the demo permit approved, pending your review, understanding that we are not going to be able to go forward with doing any sort of permit or build that will impact their land until after we meet again for another permit at that point in time with a refresh survey and having that land disputed agreed upon. That's just my thought going forward and something to
Well,
consider.
we all wish it was that simple.
I know.
If we approve this tonight, the only recourse they have is to appeal your special permit, which will tie you up for years. So what
Yeah.
I'd like you to do, now this is just me, other members might feel differently, what I'd like you to do is go and resolve this. We had this about 6 months ago down on Dean Street, just talking about a couple of feet, and we asked the applicant to go back and resolve it so that there's no issues going forward on where the property line is, and there's a dispute here. We'd rather clean it up and go back next month if it's cleaned up and we can approve this. I don't think anyone's against what you want to do.
Absolutely.
You just have a neighbor that has a concern on the property line.
Absolutely.
And I take abutters very seriously.
Oh, I agree, absolutely.
You know,
Which
because-
we do as well.
Because
Yeah.
we don't everybody get along.
No, I agree. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else, sorry?
Oh, no, I was gonna say, so a path forward, I guess, would be continuing, and it would just be like an open item of information that we
Yeah,
would
yeah, then
wait
they
to
can-
have come in to update the plan
So long as
then?
they come back with a resolution.
Yeah. It could be as simple as a document, an affidavit that can be filed with the registry of deeds that says that you agree with this survey so that their rights are protected. And you've got a lot of land, right? You've got plenty of land there, looking at the plans. And you're not really going to be affected on that side as much as they are if they have to go forward to sell their home. And I deal with this all the time. That's what my background is, and I know the issues that can come up, and I know how expensive they can get if you have to take this to court. So that's kind of where I'm at, and I continue it until our next hearing, and then that gives you folks a month to try to resolve it, just that 2 or 3 feet. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, and then I guess just highlighting too, depending on where you land and how much footage, just keeping an eye on what that does to your shed setback as well too, just because you're fine now, but I guess if that moves 2 or 3 feet in an opposite direction, that would be something that would have to maybe be laid
Yeah,
out.
absolutely.
And one of the things, I just looking at this, what Mr. Eckhart provided, on Easterly, which is Prospect Street, going back to all these deeds he's given me, they never put a total footage. You get to Northerly, it's 175 feet, you get to Westerly, 188, you get to Southerly, 175. But Easterly's just by Prospect Street, going back to 4 or 5 different deeds.
Yeah, I think it's on the subdivision diagram. I also assisted Kevin in finding those documents to help resolve it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, is anyone else got any comment on this, or anyone okay with continuing this?
Yeah, I'm okay with continuing, just, I don't think that what we do or don't approve actually impacts where the boundary line is and people's legal interests in the land. I think it is more of a, let's fix the problem before it becomes bigger, because
Right.
everyone's gonna look back at this in 30 years and be like, wait, what? But I don't think whatever we do or don't approve is actually going to change where that line
No.
falls. Yeah.
Well, no,
It's just the records and having consistent
Right.
records.
correct, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Al, you okay with that?
I'm okay with the continuance.
All you-
Yeah, I mean, it's an ambiguity that has to get resolved. I
Yeah.
mean, doesn't an instrument survey tell you exactly who owns what?
Okay, the interesting thing is, when they do these things, you gotta find them they meet, and their survey that they provided was started southerly, and the ones that were on record for the other neighbor there were all done northerly, so that you could get a 2 or 3 foot discrepancy when you do that.
So I'm not a surveyor. The current issue that I can't overcome without the assistance of Kevin and Carolyn is getting their property staked out, because it very well may be completely in alignment. And you know, just the trajectory of the line. If you're basing it off of simply a plot plan when you're building, you could have misjudged the angle of the line, and that could have caused, you know.
These aren't, you keep referring to these are plot plans, these are surveys.
Correct.
These are,
And I support them.
they
They all line up.
And they're recorded at the registry of deeds.
And our surveys, you know, based on the deed that we have as well, it's the same thing.
Well, the difference on yours that I know that it says by easterly by Prospect Street, it never gives a total footage in the front, other than, we've got it now at 120
On our,
on your survey that you provided. But on all the deeds, it all says easterly by Prospect Street, never gives a total footage.
on our deed?
On all the deeds going back, yeah, on your
Okay,
property. Yeah.
okay, I'd have to look at that, I'm
Yeah.
not sure. but-
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
With that, Harold? Well, I wanted to continue this and speak later if that's possible.
I'd like to make a recommendation for some follow-up items.
Yeah,
to be
okay.
Researched in the next month.
Yeah,
if I may.
yeah, go ahead, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm Sarah Dixon. I'm the Director of Community Development. I just wanted to circle back to the issue of the accessory structure.
Mhm.
Looking back on the denial from the building commissioner that was received on this, on the plans that were circulated to the building commissioner for that initial zoning determination, the rebuilt structure was not on those plans, so the determination that relief was needed did not contemplate that particular component of this proposal, which by itself is not problematic. This board, of course, has the authority to grant whatever relief is necessary, but I'm not convinced that a special permit would be appropriate here for something placed within the setback.
That would be a variance.
It could potentially be a
Right.
variance, and I'm unwilling to commit to that because that's not my jurisdiction, that's not my call to make. But
Right.
what I would like to recommend that the board request of the applicant is that the applicant provide some additional details about that accessory structure to the building commissioner. We've got kind of rudimentary dimensions here, but, you know, confirmed dimensions of the proposed new structure, as well as elevations showing what the building height would be, I think would be helpful for the building commissioner to determine what relief would be needed for that accessory structure to be located in the spot that's proposed. I think that would be helpful for everybody if this board were to, let's say, approve, you know, the single-family home special permit that's being requested next month. You'd hate to see the shed become an issue later on. So it would be, I think, helpful to the board to know exactly what relief would be necessary for that.
And that's a great point, and thank you. And to your point, they'd be very hard pressed to get the variance looking at their lot to meet the much higher standard for variance, so they might just want to bring that in to do that, into the 30 feet. Thank you. So I'll entertain a motion and to continue with the caveat that you confirm, and correct me if I missed this, you confirm with the building inspector the dimensions of the shed, the height of the shed, and if it is going to be within, if it's going to be within 30 feet of the back line, will a variance be required, which is a much harder thing to achieve. So you might want to just consider giving him the dimensions and the height and bringing it in 30 feet. And then also that you work with the neighbor and try to resolve this issue so that there's no problems down the road with either property. Did I say that correctly? Okay, is there a motion to continue?
Can I just
Yeah,
say one
yeah,
thing?
go ahead.
The lady, she had mentioned something about demo permit.
Yes.
I mean, she doesn't need that from us, right?
No. But-
If she wanted to demo that house, she could go to the building department.
But there would be an issue about the rebuild. There would be an issue about the rebuild.
Was while we were here.
That's what we thought.
Well, no, if you can take it down, but then you'd be coming to us for a variance to build the whole thing, that would completely, so you have to, and the building inspector can advise you better, but if you just take it down, then you just gotta go and build it on the footprint that you have now. Get
Even though it's
changes and everything.
non-conforming?
Yeah, I would speak with the building,
Okay.
I would speak with the building
Yep.
inspector on it, because that's his purview.
The bylaw says you have 2 years.
Oh, 2
for
years?
voluntary
Okay.
reconstruction.
Yeah.
And you don't necessarily need approval from the ZBA to rebuild. before you demo, but most people like to have their permits in hand before they start tearing things down. That's obviously an at your own risk.
Yeah.
But yeah, the demo permit is independent of any permitting, including permitting from this board.
I just wanted to bring that to your
I
attention.
misspoke,
Yeah, okay, thank you.
ZBA special permit to build something not the same
Something,
footprint that
yeah.
we are currently, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so there's been a motion to continue this hearing to February 10th at the Norwood Senior Center, 275 Prospect Street, 7 PM. It will also be available on Google Meet. And a motion's been made by Shannon. Is there a second to continue?
Second?
Seconded by Paul. Paul, and continuing this to our February meeting?
Yes.
Shannon to continue the February meeting?
Yes?
Rachel to
Yes.
continue the February, Al to continue the
Yes.
February, this, and it's continued to the February meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sarah, I'm gonna pass this down to you. This is what the neighbor provided. So please make it part of the record. Okay, the next hearing before us is 88 Mylod Street, case 25-28, request for special permit under Norwood zoning bylaws, section 5.7.3, to demolish a non-conforming home and rebuild with a larger volume and a different footprint. Very similar to the last one. Let me find the public hearing here. Okay, notice is hereby given that the Board of Appeals of the Town of Norwood will hold a public hearing on January 6, 2026 at 7 PM on the request of David Rafferty, case 25-28, with respect to property located at 88 Mylod Street, Norwood, Mass. 02062, in the General Residence G zoning district. The hearing will be held at the Norwood Senior Center, 275 Prospect Street, Norwood, Mass. 02062. It will also be available for remote participation via Google Meet. The application requests a special permit pursuant to zoning bylaw section 5.7.3 to demolish a pre-existing non-conforming two-family home and rebuild with a larger volume and a different footprint. The lot is non-conforming in frontage with 80 feet provided where 90 feet are required, and minimum lot width through the building with 85.7 feet provided where 90 feet is required. Any zoning relief that may be required in adherence to the Norwood zoning bylaw shall be considered by the board. Interested parties are encouraged to attend the hearing and make their views known to the board. Plans are on file with this application, the Office of the Zoning Board of Appeals, and may be requested by emailing comdeb@norwoodma.gov Monday through Friday, 8 AM to 7 PM. Good evening. Your name and address for the record,
Good evening.
please.
My name is Jocelyn Campbell, and I'm an attorney at the law firm of Rudolph Friedman LLP at 92 State Street, Boston.
How is John Friedman doing?
He's good. He's very good.
Okay, I wish I have a, John is representing me, the company that I work for.
Oh, boy.
I don't think I'll have any issue with this at all. I don't feel I have any conflict here at all. I don't think it'll affect this, so.
Sounds like it would be a completely separate matter.
Yeah, there's a couple, I just want to state that for the record, okay?
Understood.
Okay, all right, good
So,
evening.
good evening, everyone.
Yep.
I'm here with, it's going to be a three-part presentation. We'll make it as fast as we can. I know it's late for everybody. But I'm here with David Rafferty, and he is seated right here.
Hi, David.
And David is the owner of the property
Yep.
and also the owner of SBF LLC that owns the property. He's here with his son James, who's learning the business, getting ready to get started, has a degree in economics I learned tonight. And we also have with us tonight Matt Smith from Norwood
Hi, Matt.
Engineering and Antonio DiNoto, the architect on the
Okay,
project.
very good.
And so I will just give a little overview and a little bit of information, and then we'll turn over to the professionals for details about the building itself.
Okay,
So basically, the building that's there now over on 88 Mylod Street is in rough shape. It is obviously an eyesore. I'm sure you've all been by it or seen pictures of it or what have you. It is a property that is it's a white building. It's pretty much, there's a stop work order on it now from the prior owner. My client bought the property from that person and is an experienced builder and developer and property manager with over 40 years of experience. He currently lives in Milton, And his plan with this property is to build a two-family with a garage under for each unit. So we'll take up a little bit less space than normally one would if it had an extensive garage. There's only an 80-foot frontage on this property, and that is one of the issues. It's non-conforming. There's also not enough width in the property. We normally would want to see a 90-foot all the way through. As I understand, that's how your bylaws read. In this case, for the proposed structure, it's about 84.7 feet through the widest part of the property. And with those two conditions, the frontage issue and the width of the building itself on the property is the same as is right now as is existing. The frontage hasn't changed. The current building is smaller. It was built in 1841, so obviously it would be smaller. But I'm surprised that the tax records show only 1,503 livable area for square footage. Because when you look at it from the street, it looks much bigger than that. So I'm not sure how they're measuring only what's under 7 feet, or if they're measuring parts that used to be livable or maybe aren't livable now. Sometimes that happens. I know that it's a two-family, but I'm not really certain how that measurement was taken when it was taken, because it's 1,503 square feet currently. And the proposal is to build this new two-family residence with parking under, and there'll be 1,120 square feet on the first floor and 1,120 square feet on the second floor. The basement will be completely unlivable. It is the garage under, and the attic is also unlivable. It's the attic space. And so what the request here is for a special permit due to the increase in area, understanding that it's more than the 25% certainly. Per unit, it would be approximately a 50% increase. We understand there'll be 2 units. So the project, other than that, meets all of the other setbacks. There'll be no increase in traffic because it's a two-family to a two-family. We're not expecting any environmental damage. There will be a demolition, but David Raftery, as I said earlier, is an experienced developer and builder with 40 years of experience. The demolition will be done very appropriately with all of the environmental impact rules and regulations in place. There'll be dust control. And so there's going to be an increase in the livable area. We're not expecting to have, any argument about that, because that's what it is. It's very, very straightforward. But I'm going to turn it over to Matt Smith and let him talk to you about the frontage, about the lot, and some of the plans that have been made for that. I think he has also a presentation as well. I'll be back up if you have any questions for me.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you. My name is Matt Smith. I'm an engineer with Norwood Engineering Company. We're located at 1410 Route 1 here in Norwood. And I'm here representing David Raftery. With me is also my project engineer online, Alex Kraftman. Could you share with Alex if he's on? If we can, I can just have him put, yeah, there he is. Okay, he's already there. Okay, thank you. So this is this is for people that are watching at home so they can see the plan. This is the existing lot. It was a lot that was signed by the planning board back in 1967, and it has 80 feet of frontage where 90 feet of frontage is required. There's an existing two-family in a barn on the site, and the two-family in the barn conforms with today's zoning. It conforms with the side yards, setback, and rear yards. I've colored in yellow. There's 2 driveways in the property. And then if we could go to the proposed plan, as you can see in the blue, we're increasing the square footage. I don't have the exact increase in the square footage, but it certainly is more than 25%. You can see that the footprint itself is almost double. There's an existing barn on the site that will be removed, but we are increasing the footprint in the livable space. We're proposing 2 driveways. The curb cut will be in the location of the existing driveways. Because we have 2 units, we're required to have 3 parking spaces per unit. And so each unit will have 2 parking spaces in the garage and a parallel parking space on the driveway. So each unit has 3 parking spaces off of the street. We're going to use the existing sewer and water. And regarding drainage, we do meet the town's stormwater regulations where we recharge 2 inches times the impervious for the whole site. We're doing it in 2 sections, Caltech sections in the front, Caltech sections in the back. We've applied for a land disturbance permit with the town engineering department, and we got an email from Brian Murphy, I think yesterday, saying that he's satisfied with the stormwater management design, so we have it through the stormwater permitting with the land disturbance permit. And so that's really what we proposed. The existing, the non-conformance is not because of the existing structure. It's not like where the existing structure is in the side yard and we want to stay in the side yard. In the existing and in the proposed, the structures conform with the side yard requirements. The reason that we're non-conforming is that since back at when it was created in 1967, the required frontage was 80 feet. Since then, the required frontage has been increased to 90 feet, so that's where the non-conformance lies. So at this point in time, I'd like to finish up. We'll entertain questions later. Tony, did you want to make a presentation? This is Tony, the architect, Tony Donato.
Hi, I'll keep this super brief. Antonino Donato with AD Architect out of 7 Glendale Way in Canton, Massachusetts. What we've designed for this project is a simple duplex, traditional style colonial. Because we already had the 2 curb cuts, we were able to keep 2 separate driveways, which I think really works well. These are on the larger side at about 2,800 square feet per unit. They are 4-bedroom, 3.5 bathrooms. One of the things we were able to achieve with the underground parking below is because the site is very sloping. It's a 12-foot grade change from the curb to the back of the site. So we've tiered the 2 building masses, so the rear one is set up higher than the front, and we have carved away for the driveways to allow parking underneath, and we think it's nice because it gets parking off the street and out of the driveways as well. Basically, yeah, that's it. They're like 2 single-family homes that are basically touching each other. That's what we have here.
Anything else, Counselor?
Yes, I was going to say 2 things I forgot to say. One of them is just to kind of chime in on what Antonio just said about the slope. It's a pretty significant slope when you look at the property. And when you turn around, you look down and you can see where it heads down to the school. It's almost like a cliff in a way. But I also want to mention too that I did pull the GIS maps, which I'm sure you probably already have. Everybody already has that from the town GIS. And that is that, kind of also adding to what Matt Smith said, is that the 80-foot frontage, just on that map alone, there are 8 other properties with that frontage in that street. So they're all about that size. And also, again, with what Tony said about the house having the garage under, it's keeping it small, but at the same time, it's going to be built into that hill, so that it might appear a little taller in the front, but will not be as high in the back. So that's it for the moment. Thank you. Let us know if you have any questions.
All right, great. Rachel, you want to start us off?
The proposed width through the building is 84.7, and that's approximately the current width through the current structure, or is it?
That's what we propose. I don't know the width through the current structure. I could scale it.
It almost looks like the structure is a little closer to the street, which would make it narrower.
Right.
Yeah.
I did it in terms of 80, get about 80 feet.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So it's improving that a little bit
Yes.
by
Yes.
4-ish
Yes.
feet. And it looks like there's no encroachments on any setbacks here. I think I heard, and maybe I misheard, that the basement and attic are not habitable.
So the basement is not habitable. There's garage and unfinished basement space. The attic is partially habitable, and that's included in the 2,800 square feet.
Okay, yeah, because I did see there's a 4th bedroom bath.
Yep.
So that, the portion that we see on page A7
Yep, that is in that calculation.
That is in the calculation of the
Yes.
habitable square footage, okay.
Yes, there's another, it's 500 and some odd
Mm.
square feet on the attic level.
Okay,
So
and,
it's-
yeah, I don't, those were my questions, yeah, thank you.
Okay, great. Al?
I didn't have any.
Okay. Shannon?
And just confirming, it looks like the new structure then is actually 2 feet further back from the street, is that?
Yes, it is. It's
what
farther
I'm-
back.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, it
Great.
is.
And I guess, have you heard anything from either of the neighbors or the abutting properties?
David Raftery, proponent, 5 Fletcher Stillway, Milton, Mass. We have not,
Okay.
we advertised it, I checked in with the board a couple times to see if anyone had called in or sent any letters from the town or from the neighborhood that we'd be happy to talk to. We didn't hear anything. I went in again this afternoon and that was the same thing, so not as of now. Thank you.
Thank you.
No other questions, sir?
Paul?
On the first chart that you have there, what are you gonna do with the building way in the back?
That's gonna be demolished, that's a barn, and that will be demolished. Basically, the new houses in the area approximately, well, actually it shows here. So it's gonna be torn down because the new house will be in the area where part of the barn is.
No, not that it matters for our purposes, but are these gonna be condominiums or are these gonna be apartments?
So these will be condominiums. Our hope is that they'll be sold to owner occupants. That's why they're built such as they are, for family type occupants. The properties are laid out as such. As you can see where the purple is in the back is the recharge of the front unit, but so that'll be level essentially for its backyard. And then the second unit, which tails off, that'll have a level area for its backyard as well, kind of separate and private from each other, southerly facing, and that's kind of how we laid it out for that family feel. Have the parking underneath so there's not a lot of cars in circulation, 2 separate driveways as opposed to a common, so as close to single family ownership as you can be, and probably, for, better affordability, and obviously now it'll be all up to HERS rating and the stretch code and everything like that, so, work efficiently, and that we'll have the water recharge as well.
You probably have great views too, right?
Yeah, that's what, yeah, it's pretty good view.
And I just have one question for council, if I could.
Yes, sir.
So the only thing that you don't have is the width and the frontage, is that right?
That's correct.
And that was all 80 feet prior to 1967?
Yes, as this house was built in 1841.
Okay, thank you.
But if I may say, the lot was created, signed by the planning board in 1967. And at the time, frontage was allowed to be 80 feet, and that's why all the other
Thank
houses
you.
on the street are.
No question.
Good. Okay. What's the height of the total structure? You just you measured everything up to the attic, and then just want to make
Yep.
sure it's within 30
So
feet.
we provided a height at each of the 4 elevations
Mhm.
from the average grade
Yep.
to the roof line. So in the front, it's 24 feet 8. On the right side, it's 24 feet 11. On the rear elevation,
They're all within 30 feet, right?
yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's fine, thank you. Just wanted to check that, thank you. I don't have anything else, looks like a good project. And we'll ask you, if I haven't already, did I ask if anyone's here to speak? There was no one, and is anyone on Google Meet to speak to that? No? No one else here? The board have any more questions for the applicant? Does the applicant have anything more for us?
No, we just, thank you for your time.
Okay, so we'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing. Moved by Al, seconded by Shannon. Al, to close the public hearing?
Yes.
Rachel, to close the
Yes.
public hearing? Shannon, to close the public
Yes.
hearing? Paul, to close the
Yes.
public hearing? The public hearing is closed. What are the wishes of the board?
I would move to approve the special permit as presented in the application, specific to nonconformities around frontage and width through the structure. I think it will make it a more, usable and attractive set of homes for families, increase the value of both that property and the properties around it. Certainly not out of scale, relative to other properties on Mylod Street, and it doesn't seem, it's a two-family now, so it doesn't seem to be more intrusive in terms of traffic or utility.
And I also think that it's gonna be a lot safer with the new drive, you know, with the way they have it laid out to get in and out of there, because it could be dangerous now, I think. So it's good.
And with the two condos, it'll be a significant tax increase for the
Absolutely.
town. So I think it meets all the requirements of the special permit. Sarah, anything? You good on this? Okay. All right, I'll entertain a motion. Shannon's made a motion to approve as presented. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Paul. Paul on the motion to approve?
Yes.
Shannon on the motion to approve?
Yes.
Yes. Rachel on the motion to
Yes.
approve? Al on the motion to approve?
Yes.
Yes, very good. Good luck, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, members of the
Thank
board.
you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Yep. And the only other thing we have is go over the comprehensive plan there's an open house, the comprehensive plan update January 12th at the Simone Room of the library. Anything to add on that, Sarah?
Just that we invite everybody to attend. It's the last big opportunity to make your voice heard in the comprehensive plan. We'll be wrapping up our Phase 3 engagement shortly thereafter, so more information is available on our website or call the office if folks have more questions.
And just two things that came up at the hearing. I know we're meeting next month with Alex to go over some zoning issues, so lot width came up tonight, and someone had said, I think it was Dave Glasser, said that it's confusing, so I don't know if we want to look at that. And then we got to talk to Gary on how he's measuring habitable space. He's obviously not taking into consideration the walls between the rooms, so we probably should have a clarification on that from him. I mean, I'm sure that's the appropriate way, but we've always been measuring it just a total number, including the interior walls.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's good information if that's what it is, yeah. With that, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn to February 10th.
We have to, Mr. Chair, do we have minutes, I think?
Oh, do we have minutes?
Two sets, I
From the
think?
14th, from the 4th of November, and then
And then December.
Okay.
Well, second of-
Here.
December.
Okay, I didn't get a chance to look at them,
Oh.
but I'm certainly voting on the minutes for November 4th, 2025.
I did not have any edits.
Rachel, do you have any?
I do not on this one, no.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay, so entertain a motion to approve the minutes of November 4th, 2025, the zoning board of appeals,
So moved.
made by Shannon, seconded.
Paul? Yes.
Paul, yep.
Yep.
And on the motion, Paul?
Yes.
Yes, Shannon?
Yes?
Yes.
Al?
Yes.
I'll abstain because I didn't think I had a chance to look at them. And a motion on the minutes for December 2nd, 2025. Any comments? And if not, we'll entertain a motion to approve.
I had passed along a comment, I don't know if it had made the rounds, just to include some specificity on how the alternative fee was calculated.
So we want to, let's just
Yeah.
push that one off, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so we'll push that to the December 2nd, then we'll be able to review that one, okay? All right, we talked a little bit about the rules and regulations. I know we will talk next month about those. And anything else? So entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Al,
Second.
seconded by Shannon. Al on the motion to adjourn.
Yes.
Rachel?
Yes.
Shannon?
Yes?
Paul?
Yes.
And I vote yes. So you'll be back here next week, next month, Paul.
Yeah, I'll be here.
So we're adjourned. Thank you. Thank you, NCM.